We're here with Dr. Wallner and Melody from Bethany Christian School. Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Wallner, can you just get into the mission of your school?
Oh, absolutely. The mission of Bethany Christian School is to partner with parents to educate, develop, and nurture students for a life of Christ-centered excellence in academics, Christian character, and servant leadership. And everything else that we do has got to hang on there in somewhere. And so we can lay it back to some element of that mission statement, everything we do.
This is my 10th year at Bethany, and I have seen it go through a little transformation of what it was. It had core values, it had parts of it that made it distinct up in these foothills where it's just this quaint setting and a small community. It's a one class per grade, and it will never be bigger than that because that is the property of what we can hold. And so there will always be that feeling of family. Coming in and seeing the professional educators that have come on board, just the united front that they have together, working together collaboratively. They're people of faith. They are people who really appreciate and respect and are honest with one another and are willing to be transparent about changes, whether it's curriculum, working with students, giving ideas, working together to just better who we are as a school. And that's been exciting to see that in our staff, in our teachers, and just with even the families that have come to us.
I think one of the things that what Millie has described is our focus of being Christ-centered and student-focused. And really, we ask several questions in that regard. We ask, first of all, whenever we make a policy decision, program decision, what is going to be best for our students? And then we ask, what is going to be best for those who support students, which would be teachers and parents?
Right.
And then, what is going to be best for the overall school program and viability? And then the last question guides us most of all. It's the one that says, are we honoring God and His Word in the way we answer those first three questions?
Right.
And boy, that really centers us really quickly on really being student focused. And parents have remarked, wow, you really do mean that, or we see that happening here. And that's, I think, part of the thing that, and again, students are not running the program,
right,
but they know that we care about them because every decision is made with them in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful that you have those 4 defining questions then to make those decisions and make sure you're putting your mission first, God first, and then also your students, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Would you guys mind just going into what your teaching style is here?
Our instructional practices are anywhere from direct instruction. It could be differentiated instruction, meeting the high and the students that are lower, even those kids in the middle, making sure they're being challenged, but yet also bringing intervention. Having opportunities for students to do collaboration with one another and doing with project-based learning. There's just so many different methods that are used. I wouldn't say it's one particular. Our teachers have really become more interactive. Let the students problem solve, find it out, work together, then share it out. And even different assessment tools are no longer just the paper pencil.
Right.
We want to maybe do it through a video or show us how you can do it in a group presentation.
If I can add a key piece in all that Melody's saying here is that, again, being student focused, there's a relational aspect. And when our teachers had to pivot to distance learning, we were able to be quite successful with that program because of the relationships that had been built.
Right.
And we started this school year with the distance learning piece. We built in a relationship building component so that we like to say we're not just teaching face to face, but also heart to heart. And we do that in relationships. So even though we have distance learning students, there are follow up and connection points for those students.
Right.
So the relationship is extremely important.
Yeah.
We are now joined by Miss Rosemary Leone. Thank you so much for having us. Would you mind telling me a little bit about your preschool program?
Well, my preschool program, we partner with our parents to educate, develop, and nurture the students. And we are the seeds, and we start watering that seed and we watch them grow. Our 2-year-olds, we have free potty training at our school. So in our butterfly class, the teacher there takes extra time to have each child go into the bathroom. She has little cards that she writes and lets them know what time they went, what time they were diapered, things like that we have for our younger ones. In our older classes, we start with our zoophonics, that is teaching children their letters, their letter names and their letter sounds. And then we are play-based, And we use sensory tables, we do dramatic play, blocks, lots of hands-on activities during the day. And then in our TK class, they also add the Learning Without Tears, which they're learning how to form their letters, the capital letters and the lowercase letters. Then they go on to their rainbow words. And rainbow words will help them to blend the letter sounds and to create words. And the rainbow words, there will be a set of 5 rainbow words for the color red. And it can be, say the root word is at, so it's act. Then they're gonna put a C on it, k-at. Cat, then put a B on it, b-at, bat, and so forth and so on. The children love it because after they learn a color like the red, then they get a little red Skittle and they get to taste the rainbow. Nice. So they just love it, and it is just helping our students totally to be prepared for kindergarten.
When I came to Bethany, I was really struck by one word in the mission statement, and that was the word nurture. And that word nurture, I said, that means a safe place. And I was able to speak to the previous administrator, and I said, tell me about that. He said, oh, well, we were becoming accredited for the first time with the preschool through 8th grade, so we put the word nurture in for the preschool. I said, that's precious, that's great. Yeah. But I realized nurture is a safe place for children to grow. As I was here in my first months, I began visiting in the classrooms all the time, looking and seeing, supporting teachers, and just seeing kids learning. But I began to realize there is a safe place for our students. But as children grow, that safe place needs to grow.
Right.
So the safe place that we have for first 2-year-olds in the preschool, all the way up to U.S. history in 8th grade, is a safe place.
What are some other features that set you guys apart from other schools in the area?
We work to develop relationships among students. I mean, our mission, the last 3 components of our mission statement are strong academics, Christ-like character, which has to do with who the child is, the parents' vision even for what they want their child to be, as well as servant leadership. And we've actually codified that into some words. We call them the HHHH, therefore live, love, learn, and lead. And we want students to live with heart, which is live with courage, right, to learn with habit, to love with honor, and to lead with humility. And that's what servant leadership is. So we've developed a house program. It started initially in our middle school program, and those students meet in multi-grade level groups. Once they're in the house, they're always in the house, even though they're here for various grade levels. And so even today, our kids are all in their house colors. So they meet regularly for leadership development, service projects. And so there's that small group connection within the larger connection. So our teachers are leaders of those houses. Each house has student leaders. So we're developing that student leadership program with the students in that piece. So I think that's a distinctive as well. If kids just don't come to school, they're also part of a learning team, of a leadership team that creates that deeper connection.
One other distinctive is our Peacemakers plan and our intentionalness of what we do to bring redirection to behavior, to loving one another, to treating them with respect. And that is very unique. There was a few meetings I was in yesterday, and I thought that probably the majority of schools don't have time to sit with parents for the length of time we do to work through concerns that they have regarding their child. The Peacemakers plan allows them to use Matthew 18, which is a scripture that tells them to go to the person you have aught with and tell them and speak with kindness and directly what it is that they did. Right. And that binds a unity there and provides forgiveness so that they can go on and be friends, because they're going to be here the rest of the year and hopefully through 8th grade. Our desire is that these families stay with us through the endurance of their educational journey that we offer here.
Would you mind going into who you serve and who can attend Bethany Christian?
We always look at this as a relationship. Again, relationship is a key word to who we are. When we have families come and tour, we want to make sure that we hear what are their goals. And Dr. Wallner can share more about his ESC, Educational Success Consultation, because as we hear them talk and share what their heart is for their child, their most prized possession is how I see it, and they're entrusting them in our care, we want to make sure that their families are going to fit our mission. But also, that allows us to then share who we are to see if we fit who they're looking for. And so the families, we definitely have that faith base. So we know that we are going to share about Christ, and they're going to have Bible stories, and they're going to learn scriptures. We have a strong academic program. We care and we nurture, we care for the whole child. So rather than just, it's all college prep, everything's academics, hours and hours of homework every night, we are looking for families that want character built, as well as the spiritual element, as well as a strong education so that they're ready for the 21st century.
Just to support on that, is I always ask families, what their vision is for their child. Particularly kindergarten families, they're not always ready for that question.
Right.
You've got a 5-year-old, in 10 years, you'll be 15, 16. What kind of young man are you raising? And I had a father, and I love this. He said, I have to remind my wife, we're not raising 2 boys and a girl, we're raising 2 men and a woman, even though they're all elementary age kids. But I love the vision, and so we do attract a lot of families who have that long-term vision, and that vision is not so much, I want my kid to go to Harvard. Well, I want my child to have character, to be able to impact the community, to care for others, to have that level of impact, and be well prepared skill-wise, knowledge-wise, to be successful in whatever career they're having. I think that's the kind of family that really we can partner with most effectively.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Warner and Ms. Hewler, for your time.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to learn more about Bethany Christian, please visit them at www.bcslines.org, or you can go on Schola.com and look on their profile there to request more information.